Now, my hope was that no candidate would speak, because as a politician, I know that if one of us gets the microphone, everybody wants the microphone. But I do just want to introduce somebody who's here to show, an incredible amount of support, Hilary Levey Friedman, who has been working within activist circles to help women feel more confident to run for office for many years. So without further ado, here is Hilary.
So most of you know me. I'm Hilary Levey Friedman. I'm the president of the Rhode Island chapter of the National Organization for Women. And if you don't know, Rhode Island NOW is a nonpartisan organization, and so we are most focused on the issues and less about supporting any particular party. So I just wanted to emphasize a little bit what those issues are so that you all have a sense of what our focus is. So first of all, we are about bringing women into equal relationship in the world and with men. And so as part of that, So first, we're about advancing reproductive freedom. We're also about promoting economic justice, ending violence against women in all forms, LGBTQ rights, and ending racism, which I'm going to come back to at the end. And it's great to see so many members here who are running for office, so many friends who I've met over the years, and hopefully friends to come, and more Rhode Island NOW members potentially too. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about what equality means and what equal representation means. So I always got to have my stats. So in the US, women are 51% of the population. And in Rhode Island, it's actually a little bit higher. We're an entire percentage point higher. 52% of the population of Rhode Island are women. Yet, the US Congress is only 19% female. And Rhode Island, the General Assembly here does do better because it's 32%, but that's still 20 percentage points off what it should be. So yes, I'm a sociology professor, but you don't need to have a PhD in sociology to know that that is statistically significant. That's a big difference. All right, and we actually went up just one whole percentage point to 32, from 31 to 32 just a few weeks ago when our new Senator Sandra Cano took her oath. Yeah. So here's the thing. Equal representation actually means that the government runs differently. So some could say that it runs a little bit better. So this happens in three ways. The first is that women legislators are more likely to introduce legislation that specifically benefits women. So here it'd be like reproductive freedom, paid family leave, and bills against violence against women. They're also better about bringing funding back to their home districts. We can see this especially around education issues like pre-K. And to put it bluntly, women just get more stuff done. But this isn't just a saying, it's actually true. So a woman legislator on average passed twice as many bills as a male legislator in one recent session of Congress. Side note, I'm going to plug right now, if you want to learn more about women running for office, what motivates them, why they don't, what happens when they do, you should come to our May 14th event at the Biltmore for the Rhode Island NOW PAC to support all of the candidates, because Jennifer Lawless, who's the director of the Women in Politics Institute, is coming in as our keynote speaker, and she's a noted national expert on that topic. End plug. All right. Okay, but I also want to focus just for a second on our history. So the Supreme Court of the United States is 229 years old. How many years do you think it took to get one single woman on the Supreme Court? 192 years. So of course that was Sandra Day O'Connor in 1981. How's that for equal representation? In the words of the notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, when she was asked last year when enough women would be on the court, she said, when there are 9. Okay, and then what about US Congress? So it fares a little bit better. It only took 128 years to get a woman in US Congress, and only 5 years longer in Rhode Island. So it only took 33 years to get a single woman here in our state house. So equal representation isn't really too much to ask for, is it? No. No, thank you. So yesterday, one of the candidates who's running for governor of our great state of Rhode Island, Joe Trillo, he said some pretty terrible things. And I don't want to repeat all of them, but I do want to read a sentence from his press release, which said, quote, "I am so sick of hearing people scream the word racism every time a minority gets arrested for something." So while the scourge of racism is still with us, we should also realize that you could easily substitute the word sexism for racism. So someone could say, "I'm so sick of hearing people scream the word sexism." Well, we need to let Joe Trillo know that we are all in this together, regardless of race, regardless of sex. And getting more women elected means working to end racism as well. So someone else who has been very much in the news lately, Barbara Bush, she passed away this week, and as a result of that, this commencement address that she gave at Wellesley in 1990 has been making the rounds. And there was a lot of controversy when she was asked to give that address, because a lot of people said Wellesley's about women having professional lives and careers, and her entire career since she's 20 was about being married, and her identity was tied to her spouse. So at the end of her Wellesley commencement address in 1990, she took this on and she said, quote, "And who knows, somewhere out in this audience may even be someone who will one day follow in my footsteps and preside over the White House as the president's spouse. I wish him well." So I wish all of you well, and I look forward to supporting so many of these great candidates, and the Rhode Island Now PAC looks forward to supporting so many of you and raising money to distribute it all out to all of you. So let's do this in 2018. Thanks. Thanks for organizing, Laura.